Hello all. Good morning. In the age of fire and ruin, when the Legion of Hell first set foot upon Argentina, another came, an outsider whose path to their world was carved in blood. The demons could not escape his wrath. Hi, how you doing? Welcome to a Friday fun day. Just hang out, play some shit, and talk some games. Coffee with Cabeza stream.
The Night Sentinels, desperate and broken, saw in him a weapon. Their gods, ever watchful, saw something more. They bestowed upon him strength beyond mortal flesh, speed beyond thought, a gift now tethered to their will. And they used an M-dash, so it's obviously AI ran.
Starting from the beginning on Ultra Violence for fun. We got some stories written. I've got the podcast set up. It's going good. Playing at Ultra Nightmare, no path tracing. Ultra Nightmare settings on PC, for anyone wondering. If you have any questions or want to talk about Xbox at all, just hit me up in the chat. As I remember, I need to open Social Stream Ninja. For anyone who normally watches on Twitch, sorry, but in a week where we've had like 6 long live streams that have done great numbers on the YouTube, we've literally had like 15 total views on Twitch. It gets a little demoralizing to the point of being like, do we need to, you know? All right, make sure that shows up on stream. There it is. Hola. Back to the gore. It's a C4 Cosmic Rainbow. Because why not? Only 10 calories in the can. It's a health drink.
Another fool's errand, witch. You have wasted our time.
I wish I could get this arm's really in the way when I'm sitting back and relaxed.
Until the heart of Argent is found.
On this camera. This is back being a little lower again. I have to sit up for the one on the box.
But our time is running out.
This game looks really good.
Soon, the humans will summon him.
King Novi, we found their entry point. It doesn't make sense, sir.
Crazy to think this game is
the barrier
about
is
a year
still
old.
holding, but our scans show that 3 portals were open from inside the village.
The demons couldn't get past the barrier, so their followers are letting them in. Vera.
The transports. How much time?
Get me the new bishop. Valen's armored division is still an hour
And Deborah
away.
Wilson's such a good voice actress.
We could try and launch the Atlands.
There's no time.
Some chuds did get upset at a lady
Creed.
of color voicing a very white
need
alien
him.
lady. Because they're not human, as I know. But I don't know. Doom's mythos is pretty odd. I do have to keep an eye out on news because it is John's son's birthday. So they'll be doing birthday stuff all night. But it's Friday. So hopefully there's no news, because normally if there is, it's very
The
bad
village of
news.
Colleen is a mining settlement. If it falls, everything will be destroyed.
One sec, I don't think my PC game limiter is working. Hold on. You're set to 6. The game... Oh no, you're set to 8. You should be more like 13. So that I am nice and clear over top of the video game.
Including your Sentinel energy reserves.
Man, this game looks clean. I really wish I had fiber upload. If I could do 4K, 68K bitrate, which is the max YouTube accepts,
targeted for the village of Khalid.
you get one super crystal clear image. It would be about a 10-second delay. So with the 1440p, it's like a 5-second delay. The 1080p, you can get about 3. Pretty nice. It's like 5 or 6 normally. But the higher the bitrate, the longer the delay, obviously, because more information has to go back and forth. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, I know some people have already taken to the comments and stuff and be like, "Ha, you were proven wrong." And it's like, I have never once said if their strategies were going to work or not. I think the main thing we've always said is no one knows. And them making some sort of shift, whatever that ends up being, I think would go to show that, nope, not everything's working. How much was Phil and Sarah's decisions versus what Satya and Amy gave them as goals to do? Fuck, this game's good. I really like the soundtrack in it too. It might not have the highs of Eternal, but I think it is more consistently great. Which I don't think is a function of Mick Gordon. I think it's much more
Impact confirmed.
the
Slayer has been activated.
the relationship between him and Bethesda really souring. Weird, because according to Pete Hines, they were just the bestest at everything forever. Then ultraviolence, so I'm going to pay attention, but I will keep my eyes. I can go live on Twitch more, but I was saying earlier, we've done 5 live streams this week, and we have 15 total views across all of them. But yeah, I can open it up. I almost just want to have like a generic thing, but I don't like doing that. Because it does mean I got to go into the creator dashboard every time, change the title and the going live message. I might just leave the going live message as day 1 has gone live, but I do like having it tell you what we've gone live with. Has gone live with Coffee with Cabeza, and it'll be Doom, The Dark Ages, and Talking Xbox. And look, damn it, there is a reason that we rebranded, and it wasn't to do with, it really wasn't to do with Microsoft. It was to do with the fact that we didn't like having Era in the name, and we did not like having another company's IP in the name, because at any point, what if Asher Sharma had come in and been like, yep, I don't like having these companies with Xbox in the name. We own Xbox on, they're the only one that gets it. There you go. Live on YouTube. And I will add YouTube chat in 1 second. Boop. There it is. Hello, YouTube. I mean Twitch. There we go. It's not a bother so much as just it adds up every time. When you're I just have to my standard of shit being I want to do it right. I don't want to take the lazy way out. Not that anyone, I don't know if anyone ever notices or cares. God damn, this game's awesome. Kinda miss playing it. A lot. Hey, listen, I'm gonna miss having all my other guns and abilities and shit. Do not know how John chooses controller over mouse and keyboard. I did it. Let me get chat back up. Who pinged me? Who pinged? Ensky loves linking not my articles hours after I've linked my own article. And I've also been pinged on the Xbox expansion, or the expansion pass. Saros reviews went live as well. Yeah, hey Ghost, I am curious what it's gonna work on, because this game didn't seem to do much. It sucks. You won the Digimon game? Let me double check. It was supposed to ping me to let me know, but it did not. When the heck did that end? Did that end last night? Ooh, there it is. Congratulations, Mort. I'll get that over to you right now. Giveaways on the Discord are generally just public. There's never any like pay to enter anything. That would be bullshit. You just join at discord.gg/playday1 and keep an eye out for them. I've had that code for an incredibly long time. It was one of the ones originally meant for it was meant for the subathon, but we didn't hit most of the stretch goals on the subathon, so it's all still right down there. If you look down that giant bar that's on every one of our streams, if you ever feel like giving a little bit or whatever you want, the Jesus Christ, what is it called? Streamlab's link that's down there. Streamlabs.com/XboxEra/tip. Cannot change the name from XboxEra. I have looked into it as much as I can, and there is no option for it, unfortunately. What the? How do I get up here? What do I get for pausing? I blame Mort. The hell am I missing? What did I do? Help! I need an adult. Hey, Nissa. I cannot wait for if you guys are hoping there's more streams, you are in luck. Because next Tuesday, Saros comes out for Digital Deluxe owners. Obviously, we don't really have much of a relationship with PlayStation. We've just started. So I will be buying that Digital Deluxe edition and playing the ever-loving heck out of it. And annoyingly, I'm probably going to have to use, instead of this lovely Victrix BFG Pro Reloaded, I'm probably going to have to use a DualSense and not get to use all these back buttons because they have alt-fire on the trigger, the haptic trigger thing again. Oh, hey Logan. What the hell am I... How do I get up here? How am I already stuck? What have I done wrong? What'd I do? Hey, thank you for the Prime. Yeah, if you have Amazon Prime, you can go to twitch.tv/playday1. You can choose to subscribe and then choose use my Prime subscription. And that will give you the ability to not have any ads on our channel for a month, and we get a couple bucks. And you can do that every month you have Amazon Prime. How the fuck am I stuck here? Isn't this supposed to be gold? What am I missing? Have I gone insane? I feel like I've gone crazy. How am I soft locked? There's nothing else in this level. I just started. What the? What? Help. Restart from checkpoint. When in trouble, always just... Man, I forgot how fast this loads. I couldn't even take a drink.
Impact confirmed. The Slayer has been
Okay, we're going straight
activated.
through this time. This is a game I have already streamed multiple times, though, so it was, this is much more of a, hang around and chit-chat stream, especially with the new old-ish direction of Xbox. It would be very interesting to see where things go, because it's a vague platitude statement enough from smart corporate executives that it doesn't commit to anything. It doesn't commit to going back to old ways. In fact, it explicitly calls out not going back to the old systems. Like, she straight up says, we will not be using the systems that got us here, her and Booty. I'm sure she's leaning on Matt and Phil, and you don't really hear about Sarah, but she's leaning on them enough to learn what fans probably expect. No, this is the exact same. Okay, I just had to run and jump. I turned off tutorials. That was the tutorial about sprinting. Got it. This tutorial about shield bashing. Twitch link in the description doesn't work. Oh, maybe I used an old Coffee with Cabeza thing. So let me see. Yeah, this is... Oh, my Coffee with Cabeza ones are incredibly old links. Playday1. Discord.gg/playday1. Forum.playday.1. I don't even care about Twitter. Twitter can just get deleted. And we don't bother with Instagram. All right, fixed. Thank you, Logan. So I've changed them everywhere. They're changed in our defaults, but I've reused the Copy with Cabeza setups for so long that, yeah, they're pretty out of date. I never even thought about them. Oh, I don't have to do the tutorials of, you know, repel this 3 times. I can just kill him. Hey, thank you, Captain Logan, for the Twitch Prime. We all rebranded at the wrong time. People keep joking when the reality is no. You still like covering everything. You still mainly focus on the same thing you used to, but now companies will actually look at you when it comes to covering the other things. Like, I never got a reply from PlayStation until we were no longer having Xbox in the name.
3, 2, 1.
But also, we're not kidding. We had wanted to rebrand from before I joined, because Resetera is a horrible place, and having that association with them, with the era part, not good. And who knows? Maybe at some point Asha Sharma will look at websites having Xbox in the name and not like it. Any person, any executive at the company can do that. It's really not worth having somebody's brand in your name. Like, it's not... it's great for recognition from that people who like that brand right off the bat. But as far as the potential for it going poorly in the long run, it is an ever constant threat. But we kept it adjacent. We are the day one, and it will be even funnier if they drop day one games from Game Pass in some capacity, or lessen them in some capacity. Because I don't think an a la carte system just meant, it's not even like there's inside knowledge, it's just logically their goals used to be get to 100 million subs. You know, the Michael Pachters of the world thinking that could actually happen. But they did the thing that made it impossible, not that it was likely, that it was never going to happen, which was they stopped trying to sell consoles. And instead of trying to sell consoles, they tried pushing the cloud, and they tried pushing more on PC, again, before they were really ready, because the Xbox store is fine, but you got to be great to be able to pull people away from Steam, which they've been into or using for like upwards of a decade, or 2. I think my Steam account's like almost 20 years old. And I've said many times, my main issues with Steam almost always come down to the fact that I'm working on pre-release software, which has no standards. So it's very frustrating. I know that's just a me thing. Nick hates it in general, but Nick's also a Mac user, working with pre-release software on a handheld when he is using a Steam, playing a Steam game. Yeah, having our own thing that we can copyright, we can do all this various stuff with was always going to be a necessity. Phone call. No idea who. One of those rings from a familiar number, but then they never say a word. So you go back into it and you report as spam and block. Oh. I mean, reset was never great, but it's gotten a lot worse. God damn it. Ow. Because the moderation there is so bad. Like, it is just focused on letting people shit on things. Specific things. You get to heavily shit on some things. You cannot shit on others. Like, oh, why did I go back through that? It was stupid. I mean, now I gotta climb back up. I forgot where it was. It's an issue we had on the XboxEra / Day 1 servers, where I had to very forcefully, over time, finally convince John to evict a moderator who was just more interested in it being a like personal take place than actually being like a good one to have conversations. And it'll take if we ever recover from it, it'll take a very long time. But I do think John has come around to my way of moderation, which is when someone is immediately a line stepper, you just recognize that they are trying to be a line stepper, and they get very short. I gotta remember there's a lot lower window on this. That they get a very short leash. You can't wait too long to moderate them, because they will screw everything up and people won't come back.
The cultists are traitors.
They're all dead.
He's at ground zero. He located.
Helix Software? No. It would just be what? A PC equivalent, because they're not making RDNA 5 until next year. Like, that was always the roadmap. They'll start making RDNA 5 GPUs in early 2027. So, some form of PC equivalent to what a Helix can do. Showing off like path tracing or something, but you have to use a friggin' NVIDIA card to do it, which would be really funny. Or if they've got engineering samples. I have no idea. I doubt it. I'd be curious if they gave it to Keighley at the Game Awards again, because while their employees seem to be really annoyed with him all the time, especially Stein going after him kind of non-stop. It still makes the most business sense to do some big reveals at the Game Awards when you got them. Oh yeah, I just completely missed this. I forgot, I've got the objectives on the compass, not just in my face all the time. So they start in the game, and then they go to the compass. I gotta look up. This version of Xbox mode is test runs and figuring things out. It's not a new OS. It's just trying to chop down Windows. and make it feel more Xbox console-like without actually having the real this just works-ness of a console, and Windows never will. Like, they need to Windowsify the Xbox OS, not Xboxify they need to get Windows working in the Xbox OS, not Windowsify, or Xboxify the Windows OS is what I meant. Like, you need to keep that base that works, but then get PC working on it. More than you need to drop the console UI and just essentially run Windows. Like, no one wants that. Because consoles just work, and PCs can't just work. They're too complicated. They have too much, far too much backwards compatibility. I will say this, everyone who's dying to go back to exclusives has to know that it really only works for specific things. And the exclusives they want, like, I bet you most people wouldn't give two shits about a Switch port. They just don't want some games on PlayStation. That's 90% of it. They don't actually care if the game's on the Switch or anything. But games like Gears E-Day and Fable that have bigger budgets, according to Jez, because of how am I supposed to kill this guy if I can't throw my shield in? I guess I gotta get around him. You need them to... Gears is a live service game, so it's the type of game that just should be on it. You can make an argument about Fable and all that, but it's coming out in this gen where I don't think there's a way they can make the series consoles cheap normally. Maybe they'll mention Helix in June. Ghost, I don't know. I also think that's the main thing I always try and tell people all the time. Where it's like, I'm trying to find the rationalization and why a company might do something, why they might make a choice that they do. Not defending the choice. And not saying, oh, this choice is definitely going to win, but it's like, look at somebody who actually knows, unlike us. With Matt Piscatelli yesterday on Blue Sky. And he read the thing from After Sharma and Matt Booty, and he was like, yep, they get it. They get what the industry is right now. You cannot just go back to the old ways. Like, you can't just rely on exclusives. The only ones who can are Nintendo. No one else is Nintendo. It doesn't mean you have to just say, bend over and say, okay, we give you everything, you give us nothing, Papa PlayStation, like, it felt like. But also, like, the main reason they did that was because of the cards they were dealt by upper management. They had insane for the industry margins to hit. Like, video game hardware simply negates the opportunities to have high margins right now, or really much anymore, because the hardware doesn't get cheaper. Now, people like to oversimplify things. Though it's easier to. It's like why do conspiracy theories take off? Because they're more fun and they simplify reality, and they make reality feel like, you know, this just makes more sense. Of course, this thing I think is happening has happened. Instead of, reality's pretty boring most of the time. Hey, Cuddy. Oh, my legs. Back. If you want games like Halo and Gears and stuff to exist with big budgets as live service titles with multiplayer elements, then they need to be everywhere. That is just the math of reality right now. That doesn't change because South of Midnight and even Starfield and other late ports like Avowed didn't do great. Hi-Fi Rush, no one bought it. Funnily enough, one of the only ones that did pretty well, it seems, in comparison to its budget, is Pentiment, which is awesome, but, you know, when you're doing this many ports and a handful of them barely sell at all, it's real bad. And it will make you rethink what you're doing, as we are seeing. But she directly called out that they're not looking to like straight up undo everything they've done already. That they are not looking to go back to the old system. It says directly in that statement, we're not going back to the system that brought us here. Like, as much as some people would really like that, just because maybe they don't like some of the companies that they were giving games to. But the hope is those ports help pay for other stuff. Like Shuhei Yoshida came out today and was like, nope, the PC ports never hurt us. They only help pay for other things.
All hell gates closed.
Despite what people want to believe. Yeah, like the unfortunate reality more is that Halo. So why would you do Halo Campaign Evolved if it's not a big live service thing? It sets it up for the next Halo multiplayer. Maybe the future is the Halo multiplayer, whatever that ends up being, that is on everywhere. But the Halo campaign you keep to yourself. I honestly think their biggest competitor in the future is Steam. It doesn't mean the others aren't a competitor. It just means like the biggest one, the one that's the toughest for them to overcome in any meaningful way, is Steam. Because people are so entrenched in that system. So, where's the place you might really think of not putting your stuff? Would be there. Huge risk though. Just like not having potentially what, $200, $300, $400 million Gears game, not have its multiplayer on a platform with a 90+ million user base. Like, sure, there's a lot of crossover between PS5, Xbox, and PC, but every bit counts. Every bit really matters, and how much do those ports really cost in the long run nowadays? So, Warzone Firefight. You're speaking my language, Didact. Warzone Firefight is the mode I played the most of in any Halo game. I think I had like 400 hours in it. Just that mode. Outside of replaying the first campaign for 3 years because it was the only game we could afford. It's funny, we would work like 50 hours a week and have no money to buy anything because video games were so overly expensive. And now you can plunk $15 down on Xbox or PlayStation and immediately have like 400 or 500 games. Pretty crazy. Got an email. Okay, I already know that one. What do you want, Margot? Oh, that went to Chengiz too, so I don't have to forward it to him. They really need to be more selective with ports, as a lot of PlayStation audience are either casuals only playing the forever game, or fanboys too busy playing Twitter to actually buy games. I think the exclusivity and the window talk should make it clear. If you're going to port something, you port it at launch. You can't, or 3 to 6 months. Anything more than 3 to 6 months, and you run the risk of the port getting completely lost in the shuffle and doing nothing. So I think it doesn't just mean we go back to exclusivity in some major way. I think it just as much means if we're going to port, we port. We don't wait. We just port it. I don't care about skins and stuff on this save file. Yeah, the longer they wait on a port in this, my god. This game is so goddamn cool. Ow. Ow. Mean, though. God damn it. Messed up my timing. Flying through him. God, I don't have the upgrade that keeps those barrels from hurting me so much. Got him. Ow. Shit, two of them. I'll reach out in a second. Whew. All right. Holy crap. More. I would think you make more money from having someone spending more of their gaming money within your ecosystem rather than selling the game or two. I get it, and I agree, except for you can even look at the biggest, most successful one. That Forza Horizon 5. It still had over 5 million people to sell a copy to, you know, 3 or 4 years after launch, whatever it was. Like, there are just people who are not going to come over. Especially when these boxes are so similar. I do think next generation has far more differentiation between them. Because Xbox can play your PC games, and that's going to matter a lot for people who have started building up libraries on PC or who want to, but we're always stuck with a console. It's going to be really interesting to see.
Titan advancing.
I got him right in his Titan dick. Yeah, like having RB there yet right at launch instead of having to wait for a long ass time to get a console for it is very different.
All remaining enemy targets have been neutralized.
Hey, Hytham, Doom rules. Yep, I agree, Mort. It's just there's still an audience left, and as a live service game, it is too much money to leave on the table for some things. I do understand and agree. South of Midnight, Hi-Fi Rush, those ports didn't help the platform. Hopefully, they helped the devs a little, but in Hi-Fi Rush's case, obviously it wasn't enough.
And now he has a leash.
The Makers felt a weapon as powerful as the Slayer.
Should be guided.
And you agreed.
The main issue consistently comes down to hardware is not getting any cheaper, it's only getting more expensive. That's why she brought up affordability a few times. Really curious what that ends up meaning, because the next breath of RDNA 5 GPUs, supposedly all or mostly having Xbox backwards compatibility built into them, then means maybe there is one of them that is enough to still play Series X games, or maybe play Series S games.
And still, You
and gives you that cheaper SKU. Maybe there's something they can get $500 or $600 in the original bigger batter helix at $1,000 or more, all the way up to their 6090 equivalent at like $2,000, and you give people the choice of what they want, along with the handheld that has that lowest rate. The hardest thing with a handheld always is the TDP it can go to and still have a decent battery, and memory bandwidth being so low. Because like even on a Switch 2, the memory bandwidth is half of a Series S. It's just the constraints of size. Really, miniaturization's very expensive.
And a heart of Argent gives
Yeah, and the laws of thermodynamics, where it's if you're pumping out a Series S version of it, just put your hand over your Series S. That shit gets hot. Good morning, Kevin. How you doing?
It's yours to command. For now.
Tim, because it's a joking reference to how many people think the new system is going to be like the original exclusives and hardware only one and go back to exclusives, and it's like, I'm sure they'll have some. I don't think timed exclusives work great if they're more than 3 to 6 months. So it'll either be an exclusive or it'll be ported pretty quickly or at launch. It's not going to be the old system, which is what a lot of people were hoping for. It's going to be something new, like legitimately new.
Resume our search.
Just the thought, obviously, I have no idea. Which I do think is something that people have a really hard time just saying, is they don't know. Like, most of the time, myself or John, we talk, it's from a place of acknowledging we don't know. And it's our read and interpretations of a situation. And unless it's, like, implicitly clear, it is not an endorsement. What the? Why don't you just keep going? I must have pressed this. I pressed the wrong button. Sony is out for margins. That you listen to them all the time. Their main thing are margins, and they feel, and I agree with them. They know better than me, anyways. They're if you watch any of their talks at the Financial Times, the PlayStation division is under a lot of pressure because they carry Sony as a company lately, and their margins are bad. So like, even though they made what was it, 116 or 125 billion in 5 years of PS4 and PS5, they only kept like 9% or something. They kept like 15 billion, where you would want to keep 30-ish. Where early on, your margins are really bad because you're pushing hardware super hard. But as the generation goes on, your margins on the hardware get good to where you're finally not losing money on every sale, and your margins by the end of a generation are like 30, 40%. That's what Nintendo had with the Switch. That's what you want. Generally, it's for PlayStation and Xbox, it's been a lot less. Especially the PS3 generation. Even though they end up selling a ton, they didn't actually end up making a bunch of money. Like, all the money they made was lost on hardware and other things. And Xbox lost a lot of money on 360's breaking. So, like, PlayStation's main focus is still getting their costs down, because their first-party games had become so expensive. And the same shit's happened with Microsoft. Their first-party grew massively. Like, adding ZeniMax and adding Bethesda, adding ZeniMax and all Bethesda, adding Activision, Blizzard, and King, they went from, what was it, like 7,000? Like 6,000, 6,000. Now they're up over 20,000 people being paid non-stop. And so I think we've seen the math on Game Pass does change. They had to go up to $30 because Game Pass worked if they kept getting more subs. But they stopped selling hardware. And then they're like, well, maybe we'll get more subs on the cloud. And no, they did not. Obviously not the way they were hoping for, so. Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo are all in various places of how can we grow. Because if it was about sustainability, it would all be fine forever. It's about growth, as we always talk about.
He's at the drop zone. Deploying weapon
Like
pod now.
Xbox, they stopped selling consoles and tried cloud and tried a mobile store and shifting resources from their consoles and their UI on the console to really focus on things that I think a lot of us had no interest in and didn't think would work. But obviously we don't know. But we ended up being right to a point. So it has been interesting to try and explain the why.
Targeting demonic threat.
And have people take that as like some sort of tantamount endorsement, which can be annoying. This embargo, this is not. Hi, Jesse. Later this spring, Square Enix will open 2 new permanent cafe and shop locations in Los Angeles, USA, and Shinjuku, Tokyo. This marks the first time an official Square Enix cafe offering a full, authentic menu will open in the US. Huh. I'll get this, I'm gonna get this over to Chungus. You might know about Square Enix cafes. I've never heard of them before. That's neat. And Nintendo is a unicorn who has just made so many games and IP that people love that they are fully powered by their first party. In a way, Xbox hasn't been since the original Xbox, and PlayStation has kind of never been, because the original PlayStation was them just being the place where everyone who was sick of Nintendo's stuff back then went to. And then they started with like the PS2 and the PS3 and getting into how do I, oh, it's R. I kept pressing Q. And then they, you know, started getting more of their own stuff in the last couple of gens, really popping off with Uncharted and God of War and The Last of Us and all that stuff. But even then, they are powered by being the default platform for people. And then like Insomniac had insane sales. The first Horizon game had crazy sales. But in the long term, like the main thing powering this generation has been third party. And it mainly powered the end of last generation too, even though Sony had a bunch of massive hits. Like it's still mostly a platform powered by their dominance in being the place you get third-party games. So, it's interesting. Nintendo shifted. They still just keep putting out games that are doing incredibly well. Like I think both Copia and Tomodachi Life have done insanely well this year, and their console sales have somehow kept up in a way I don't think a lot of people were expecting. Definitely hoping. Again, I think it's another thing people always like, wow, you hate Nintendo. It's like, no, we haven't had a generation that I can remember where there was so much hardware available early on. Like, they had more... Goddamn, this game looks amazing. They had more consoles than we've ever seen to start a gen. It's knuckin' fuds. But even there, like as we saw with the Wii U, like Didac brings up, no one's immune. Nintendo recovered as only they probably could have, and shifted to transmedia, going into movies and theme parks and other different things because they've got IP at a level no one else has, mainly Pokemon and now Mario. And people always overlook just how Pokemon is pretty much the biggest IP in gaming, like bar none. There's no bigger IP than Pokemon. So having a really good Pokemon game that I really wanted to review, but we don't seem to be on Nintendo's radar anymore. Having a really good Pokemon game is going to be a big system seller forever. Again, in a way that nothing else really is. Damn it. How do I get in you? Why do I not remember? Down and jump up, maybe? Hi, guys. Yep. How's it going, man? Thank you for the light reading. 3.7 gigabyte update for Expedition 33. I don't know. Hey, Sherez, how you doing? And I will say again, thank you everyone who has in any way contributed, whether it's a membership, Patreon, Twitch Prime, super tip, super chat, YouTube memberships. All of it really helps. We are still booking Summer Games Fest stuff. That $10,000 number you see down there is legit. That is what it's going to cost for us to get 4 people to Summer Games Fest with hotel rooms and 5 people to Gamescom with Airbnb. So thank you everyone who has already contributed. It's the only reason we still get to keep going the way we do. Otherwise, we would just have had to turn into another guide and SEO, AEO website, which would have made me quit right away. Oh, damn it. Am I going to have to give Steven Totillo some money so I can read this article? Oh, I'm getting messages. What do you want, Soul? Do I have any? I have asked repeatedly with no response. Here's one about Slay the Spire. Oh, yeah, Kiln is very cool. And I don't think there's an exclusivity decision to make. I think it ends up being decisions across a ton of stuff. Like, and yeah, Mort, I do think, like she talked about building their presence in China. I hope you would assume that means that focus on the global again is back on the menu. Steven Totillo game file. It's gamefile.news. I always forget. And yeah, gotta pay. I get. Oh no, it's all there. All right, let me. Well, shit. We might have to take a little break to write. Let me see. I hate rewriting someone's friggin' work, but that's most of this job. Oh, all right. I don't even know what display capture I have turned on right now on Coffee with Cabeza. One moment. Top monitor would be Odyssey. Okay. And then you're just going to see... I can't show the emails. Hold on. Studio mode. Get that. Get that. Does that work? Mostly works. Okay. Boop. All right. In a memo to Microsoft's video game team yesterday, and I'm going to put this link in the chats for you guys. There you go. There you go. Oh, I'm connecting on Twitch chat for some reason. Just give it a second. Boop, boop. All right. In a memo to Microsoft's video game team yesterday, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we know all this stuff. This article is free for all readers, but he's also publishing a transcript for paying members. You get more if you subscribe. So if you want to read even more, subscribe to Steven's great work. Fortifying Game Pass. To grow a subscription business, you need more players who love the subscription, that are staying longer, and that are happy. She pointed to Monday's announcement of the price reduction. We think that this decision is going to give us all 3 of those. We've been thinking about Game Pass in 2 steps. One, let's just make sure it's affordable, which we address. The second is what does value look like 8 years later after the advent of Game Pass in the world changing around us and the next generation coming online. So we're exploring a number of different things. Booty talked predictable cadence, robust roadmap, aim for quality. Totila talked about nailing the fundamentals of game development, and Booty said that could create the conditions for the lightning in a bottle of winning Game of the Year. What exactly does stabilize Gen 9 mean? We have formed a team, and we're investing in console features. We are standing up the muscle to make sure that all our performance and reliability and quality is great. We are investing in it as a first-class experience again, and we want to make sure that all the players who want to be on Gen 9 are on Gen 9 with a great console with regular updates. I'm going to ping the news group and see if anyone's around real quick. News. There, just ping to see. Oh my god, I have so many emails too. She teased there were more updates coming. I think that Gen 9 is a great piece of hardware, and we want to make sure that gameplay and platform experiences is excellent. We know we just haven't invested as much there, and we're hoping to get back to that. For exclusivity, we'll take a data-driven approach and make a strategic-driven approach, and then we'll look at our principles and we'll make some calls. So we'll share more on that when we're ready. Is there any time frame? Nothing we're ready to commit to. She's only been there for 2 months. I want to make the right decision, not the fastest one. So, yeah. I think the thing we all think. Case by case. But you have to make it very clear what the cases are. Boop, boop, boop. I was curious if Sharma had been given a mandate when she took the job. The big things we're thinking about are we want to make great games. Pointing out that Peabody Award win for South of Midnight and the release of Kiln. The return of Xbox really came from an ethos of we have to restore the core. We have to restore the core fundamentals of our product and our console. We have to restore the core and increase our strength on PC. We need to overhaul discovery, search, etc. She talked about getting the job. Like the idea of working on something consumer-facing again. Boop, boop, boop. Asked about series console sales going back up. I can't share guidance on what's going to happen in general. We are wanting to see Xbox return to growth next year, so we got work to do. And that she said that's the Xbox division returning to growth, she clarified. There's no silver bullets, and our focus is going to be how many players are playing every single day in the Xbox ecosystem. What do they mean by being open? She pulled me back a bit from all his thoughts on it and said, so what we share with our team is that we want the platform to be open for more people to create on it and more players to participate in customizing and extending that. But an open platform approach with the ally as well, citing previous comments, and she said, I wasn't a part of those conversations, so we'll make those decisions going forward as a team and with our partners. We'll share more when we can. And what do they mean by affordable? I think there's a lot of different people around the world that have different needs. I think historically our pricing hasn't been as flexible. And I think that's the big thing we want to work on. You saw that with Game Pass, it had become too expensive, so we took a step to address that. I want to continue to make sure as we build hardware, software, services, we're spending just as much time on performance and playtime as we are in making sure that we can innovate to offer more affordable devices and hardware and services. And so, look, there's a reality to the market that we're in, so there's no promises around what the price points are on anything like that, but I want to make sure people around the world are able to play. Need to build what fans want. Be where fans are. Yeah, just a lot of stuff like that. Could be worth an article. We'll see. I'll think about it. Interesting. It's outside of being more transcripty, I don't think it's that different from what Jez got. It's pretty much restating everything that they just said. Oh, yeah, sorry there's so many ads. There is no way to turn them off on either platform anymore. They have to run. It's very annoying. If you have Twitch Prime and you use it, you don't get ads on Twitch. If you've got Twitch Turbo or YouTube Premium, don't worry about it. They give us money for any ad you missed. So it works out just fine. Okay, where's this game want me to go now? I'll be honest. Kind of a meh interview. You can only get the answers you get. He asked all the right questions, but they're too good at the corpo foo. They don't give interesting answers. They give the answers you expect and probably already know are going to be said before they ever are. But yeah, I think that the main thing is there's no, there are no answers. There's goals and there's questions, but there are not answers.
Abed facilities are under lockdown.
Which is a frustrating thing. Gun, shield, melee. Burn's pretty good to get. I only got 50 gold and that costs 50. Retaliation. We'll go with gun. Yeah, pretty much YouTube really likes to screw you or your experience up if you it detects any type of ad blocker now. They are very much against ad blockers. Right, much like with us, if you appreciate real journalism, not just games coverage, but straight up, investigative journalism and stuff. Gamefile.news for Steven Totillo. He's very good at what he does, so well worth the sub, I'm sure. I don't have any money to do it, otherwise I would. Thought I parried you. Oh, that's right, I gotta I did there, I parried him that time. You get it? Yep. Yeah, the interview is pretty much she asks all the questions around it, and they kung fu their way away from ever giving a real answer. It's the exact same thing they did with Jez. But it's always funny when people called his interview terrible or just PR. It's like, man, he had like 5 to 10 minutes and asked all the questions I think most of us would have cared about. He just didn't call them shitheads enough, I guess. Oh, how's it going, big boy? Got him. Oh. Man. But yeah, it's just the reality. There isn't an answer when you're like, we're going to figure out what to do. The answer is, we're going to try and figure out what to do. It doesn't change just because somebody asks you again. Okay, that went to everyone. Just getting some Summer Game Fest emails as we have started to set things up. We started accepting invites to stuff, so you want to maybe click that link in chat, or you know what, I gotta add it on Twitch. I didn't even think of that because I never put it into this main one, nor did I put it into Twitch because I put this all together real quickly before going live. So there is the link if you're ever interested in sending us a super chat or anything. That link means we get every penny. So streamlabs.com/XboxEra/tip. I can't change the name from XboxEra. That's why it's still there. We get 99.999% of the money from there, compared to like on YouTube where they'll take anywhere from 20 to 40%, 50% on occasion. So, you ever feel like tossing a little money our way? That is either that or the memberships on playday.1/membership are the bestest ways to go about it. But pretty much every penny going to that PayPal really helps us not just get to Summer Games Fest, but to keep existing in general. It's real hard. When you do a rebrand, you stop getting much advertising money for a little while. God damn it, what am I doing? Ooh, that got hairy. Boop, boop. Yep, already May. Already tons of bills to pay and plane tickets to buy and shit. Fortunately, we're not very good at finding sponsors on stuff. So it's unfortunately it's pretty much always just crowdfunded. Crowdfunded or paid for through what do you call it? Paid for through the 117 from Monsieur Kevin. Some Halo for all the Xbox news coming out this week. Thank you, by the way. Thank you for fixing the bar down there. I mention it every time, but overnight that bar loves to break, and it only gets fixed if it gets a donation. It's really weird. For a split second, I thought they were chanting because I was near there. But yeah. Much like the game-making business, the game coverage business, not great. Zelda Mercante is not in it anymore. She got a job. I think it's like it's a website where people who do PR go to learn the newest stuff in PR. YD85 with the $30 super tip. Thank you so much. Seriously, it all immediately just goes into a PayPal that is like and into the company bank account. Like it's not going up John's nose or anything, I promise. Oh yes. And even just watching, talking in chat, hitting the like button, all that type of stuff, the engagement really is what YouTube's all about, and so in the long term it really helps. Every little bit, whether it's reaching in your pocket or just hanging around and being cool, not being a bad puppy like Britt had to deal with overnight. How late were you up, Britt? I woke up to many angry DMs from that person, of course, who told me they really didn't say anything wrong. At which point I have replied back to them with 8 screenshots of them telling people to go to hell in various fashions. John handles all the company finances, so what he does with his body is up to him, but when it comes to company finances, it's just paying the bills, because running websites ain't cheap. Yeah, especially when you get a fair amount of traffic. That traffic always costs you. Yes, they DM'd me many times, Ghost. I have replied back saying, I don't know, I think you can look at a situation like that where someone comes in knowing they're being spicy right off the bat. Generally for a reason, and that reason is to martyr themselves in their own eyes. It really sucks, Britt. But yeah, I just replied with buddy, what you're doing seems pretty obvious to me. I don't think anyone here is unbelievably anti-exclusivity. We're just realistic about the modern video game industry, where kids don't give a shit where something is. They want it where they are. All they really care about. Is this thing where I am? Can I play it with my friends? There, that's it. If it's not there, it doesn't exist to me. Okay, bye. Cool. Tim the Sorcerer with the 117. Have a great gaming weekend, all. Thank you, Tim. It'll be an interesting podcast tomorrow because Nick is still, of course, thoroughly convinced that it's all Amy and Satya. All them, only them. But it's like some bad margin stuff set by Amy and some probably not having any idea about the thing from Satya mixed with bad ideas from Sarah that feel okay. Everyone has their part they played in making some decisions that led to where we're at now, where none of their big bets paid off. It's not Amy or Sarah coming up with the big bets. They might have given them an annoying-ass situation to try and figure out, which does not help. But the bets were placed by the executives overseeing the division more than the executives overseeing those executives. Oh yeah, I don't have your passive yet. Bye-bye. Is that open yet? Now it's open. Bonk. Sorry, guys. "100% traditional exclusivity only works for Nintendo." Like, they can... It's not impossible that Xbox could try it. But again, I think the more likely scenario is we will be on every platform. And on PC, we'll be on our own platform. Maybe. They would get an insane amount of backlash from Bethesda fans if Elder Scrolls 6 wasn't on Steam. Especially if their own store wasn't fixed. And modding Elder Scrolls was harder than it is on Steam. Like, you gotta be smart about what you choose to do and what you don't choose to do. That's why they don't have any answers right now. Because this shit's complicated, and anyone thinks that they committed to anything is wrong. They committed to nothing. They simply said words to make employees and fans happy, and now it is entirely on them to back those words up. Yeah, I don't think it's likely Ghost, but I think it's more likely than it not being on PlayStation, because at least you still have it on every platform. I honestly have no idea if it could run on Switch too. I'm sure they'd love for it to. And I bet you most fans wouldn't give a shit if it did. It is just PlayStation ports that they're mad at. No, Xbox and PC are tied together, especially when the next console is literally a goddamn machine that can play PC games. The exclusives from people talking about it in console warrior circles is always about PlayStation. Will their games be on PlayStation? Not even Switch. Not nearly as much as PlayStation. And most people don't give a shit if their games come to Switch. They're really mad if they're not on only Xbox and PC and Switch. Man, I'd be surprised if it was a 2029 game. It'd probably be a 2028. That's my guess. I have absolutely no idea. I also imagine it's going to have a lot of AI stuff in it for like talking and whatnot. Because what else can you do that's super innovative? But again, I have no idea. All guesswork. Cool shit's going on. Gotta read more chat. I definitely missed some chat. Let me see. We didn't ban anyone more. We did end up just muting them for now, and I'm going to see how they reply to me. Chances of them getting unmuted ever are very low. Because when you come in that hot, for no actual good reason, hard to trust you. I don't even know if it's a strategy they announce. We might do some less ports. I don't even know if that ends up being something they would feel they need to announce. You know? I think they just feel it's probably too late for Master Chief Collection to go multi-plat. Like, Halo Infinite would have made more sense. Because Halo Infinite is monetizable. They wanted to monetize Master Chief Collection and people lost their minds. Not realizing that not being able to monetize it meant it was not going to get much more support. Oh no! Big boy. Whoa, so little health and armor. Right up his stupid demon ass. Hi. Whee! Nope, I do not think you would see Master Chief Collection get a port without some way to monetize it. Master Chief Collection was a collection of a bygone era. It's the type of thing you would nowadays do for $40 per game. Like if we get the other Gears games redone, they will not. There no collections. If they ever brought back old Fable games, no collections. If they're doing remakes, they're $40 to $50 each. Like Assassin's Creed Black Flag is $60, but it is a from the bottom rebuild and the brand new Anvil engine from Shadows. So I understand why.
There's a teleporter nearby. Mark it for him.
All right, little buddies. How many headshots? Headshots. Running riot.
Overkill.
You used 8 hours, Britt? I set it to a week. Because I want to talk to him before I undo it. I wouldn't be surprised if they looked at it, but again, the only game that would have made sense would have been Infinite for making money. But they didn't do that, which makes you think they probably have something coming multiplayer-wise. There's a reason I don't write up Mr. Reb's stuff much anymore. I will generally read it or watch it, ask people I know if it has any accuracy, and I haven't written up any of his stuff in a while because it has supposedly not. Again, I'm not going to pretend like I know stuff. I don't know anything. Very happily. I don't like the insider game. Being knowledgeable about a profession is something I have tried really hard to become, but not I understand, like, friggin' game dev, and I know all that's going on at all these developers type of shit. I don't. I have no idea. None at all. And I don't want to. More emails. Jesus, so many. Okay. Yep. It's one hell of a trilogy. How do I get up there? I want that gold. Oh, behind. I broke it. Now I can get there. I found a secret. I can upgrade shield 50. Ricochet. Oh yes, Ricochet's pretty good. Charge is pretty good. We'll go Ricochet or Pincushion. Oh, I always did Pincushion. Yeah, I like Pincushion. They blowed up. And yeah, I think so, Britt. That's one of the main reasons that every time I ask, they're like, nope. Not anymore, at the very least. Or never, in some cases. I will be curious what Nate finally says in his Xbox, whatever you call it, podcast. Because they seem thoroughly intent on killing the leak culture, which if you wonder why does Ubisoft leak all the time, it's because the people who work there hate the company. Like, I've never asked Tom Henderson directly, but I bet you a lot of his sources within the company are because those people just fucking hate who they work for so much. Why are you not getting hot enough to meet there? God, Jesus, I really wanted to break that. So much punching and kicking. Oh, uh-oh. I was looking at an email. I buy power. Yeah. I buy power Final Fantasy 14 collab. Hey, you want to send me a 5090 PC and do a sponsor deal? I'm in. I buy power. It's the only chance I will ever have it upgrading my CPU and RAM. You get me a 9800X 3D, 2. Because I am a content creator who does a lot of video stuff, and it would help there. Making all my TikToks and YouTube shorts lately, because it's an annoyingly effective way of growing an audience. Like seriously, the amount of friggin' subs we've gained since we started doing more shorts is kind of nuts. Damn it, I died. Oh. Well, yeah, Nate says they keep having a person was sick, and then there was a family emergency type thing, so who knows? I hope he doesn't have any great info and we get to just enjoy a show. It is funny that we're always in this weird in-between spot with we are not influencers, so we wouldn't get invited to something like Paris and a bunch of people are in Tokyo right now for that big Forza thing. But that big Forza thing isn't a press event that we would ever be invited to by them. But there are a ton of other things from various companies that we do get invited to as press. And we still sometimes get looked at as creators because we stream. Like, we're in the weird middle ground. Because you have, like, the biggest creators, like, Kind of Funny, will get invited to everything, whether it's press or creator, even though they've themselves said repeatedly they're not doing press, they're doing games media coverage, essentially, more than anything now. But we're not big, so we definitely get put into buckets, and it's shocking how many times we get included in stuff. Like getting invited to Treyarch last year for seeing Black Ops 7 early, seeing the good parts of Black Ops 7. They brought me in to look at zombies and multiplayer, which are, I think people who play that game, very good, is what they normally say. But then I look around the industry and I see there are like tons of previews and other events and anything with Sony and Nintendo, and we're so teeny tiny that I imagine we're not even thought of. Our biggest AAA company support. So it's not a company. There is a press company. So they're not a AAA company, but they are the PR for most AAA companies, and that is called 47. 47 PR would be our like best support. They include us in stuff all the time. Them, Triple Point, and a few others. The reason I used to do so many reviews, and I know the quality wasn't as good as when I'm able to take my time, but it was to build up the relationship with 47 and Triple Point and Uber Strategist, Dead Good PR, and a whole bunch of other ones. 47 does Bethesda and Square Enix and Capcom, and they have done EA in the past. I don't think they're doing EA now, but like 47 was everybody. So our in the industry really was building up the relationship with 47. My God, I keep forgetting how fast this loads. It's insane. So if you're ever looking to, like, I want to get into games coverage or I want to get into anything like that, finding out who represents who is the hardest thing. Then introducing yourself and building up a rapport, incredibly hard. You're generally going to start with much smaller games from smaller PR companies. Xbox in general is one of the ones who's the easiest if you're new to have some form of launch code relationship with. The hard thing is gaining the trust to get embargo codes. So that's what we're in the process of with Sony. I have absolutely no idea how to do it with Nintendo. We'll see. Yeah, the main process with Sony is they know we exist now, and we just prove that we are trustworthy with embargoes, because they like to give their games very early, as you typically see, like 2-3 weeks sometimes, and so it's a big ask. Hey, we're going to give you this thing, do not spoil it, do not mess up. So we'll see. We've had to do it with everyone. We had to do it with EA. We were launch codes with EA for a really long time. We were launch codes with a lot of the bigger devs for most of our existence. It took a lot of work, like a crazy amount of work. I forget what the buttons are. What are the buttons again? Space. There we go. I had to remember what the button to dodge was, because I know these aren't complicated. But I was getting all wrong. The fact that we've had responses means that, you know, it's not impossible now. That was the main thing. Just who do you talk to? How do you make them know you even exist? Like those are the hardest part every time is getting a company to know who you are.
The energy relay is under attack.
If that core explodes, the city goes with it. Dimensional barrier.
So the fact that we've gotten there even a little bit feels real good.
Do we have?
I did not mean to hit tilde, I meant to hit tab.
Reactor has sustained heavy damage.
Ow. I kicked the ground and blew his head up. But yeah, hello Chill Robots, how you doing? For anyone wondering, obviously don't have a Saros review. Nowhere near that type of relationship yet. But I will be buying the game to review next week. So, and then sending you a good old stream for many hours on Tuesday. After headlines.
More Titans ahead.
Headlines at 10.
Deploy weaponry.
Get everything done after headlines.
Incoming.
Probably stream around noonish, maybe. We'll see. It'll be fun. It's been a hell of a week. It's been a hell of a 2 months, and it doesn't slow down. May already has like 12 things we want to review as a website again, which we can only do in large part with your support. So if you like anything about us and you got $4 a month, if we could just keep growing on the I can't deflect those, right? I just gotta dodge them. Playday.1/memberships. Far and away the best way to support us on a regular basis. And if you just want to send us a tip or something, you can use that link that's in the chat. Streamlabs.com/XboxEra/tips, because yes, I can never change the YouTube channel name from defaulting to XboxEra. That is a permanent thing. That does not change.
Sire, player is approaching the core.
The barrier is critical. Relay overloading.
We need to pull everyone back.
But yes, I will be I'll be looking to stream Saros. I'll probably use the DualSense to see what their features are, because that is such a big thing with them all the time. Even though I've got that friggin' the BFG Reloaded Victrix controller, which I need to write the review for soon. I've been using it on Xbox forever. I got the PlayStation version, which is the exact same.
Explode. He needs to evacuate now.
So the difference though is there's no rumble. Not just that there's no haptic feedback. There's literally no rumble on that controller, which is weird. But I didn't even notice it after an hour. I am Mr. I never notice the rumble ever on the DualSense. Maybe there's something broken about my hands and I just do not feel the haptic feedback much. But I really don't. So losing rumble didn't bother me. But it doesn't have the trigger stops and it doesn't have a speaker or anything else. So if you're really into those features, it might not be for you. Especially when Saros uses them, especially the trigger stops, for being able to access your alt fires, I read. So I'll start up with the DualSense. But yeah, that also means spending $80 to buy the deluxe edition of Saros. So it's not cheap. No extras here. Again, something we can only do because of everyone's support. I have asked about a launch code, but I haven't heard anything back, so I'm just I'm going to assume no. Oops, wasted that. Oh no, it stunned him. Good enough. Ow. Got him. Yeah, people seem to really like, and I think Saros doing the thing that reviewers might not like as much, but it is definitely a thing that I think, some players might not like as much, being easier than Returnal really does open it up to more people as a net positive for it overall. And it's reviewed incredibly well. I know there are some people who are like, the difficulty factor was like my favorite thing, and I get that, but I do think it's going to help it a lot at Game of the Year time, even though this is a really hard year, like really tough year. Six nominees? Not enough. Oh, this game. The cutscenes in are so funny. Wub, 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 wub. Pocopia probably up there. Wub, 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 wub.
The transdimensional barrier is offline. Demonic activity is surging. The Creed has requested an immediate report.
Yeah, Requiem.
Return to the Sentinel barracks.
Pragmata, Copia, Saros, Wolverine, Grand Theft Auto. We'll see about Fable and Gears. You never know. Fable probably has a better chance. Forza Horizon 6.
I did as you asked.
Those will probably be most of like the highest scoring
let her
major
soul
games
be
that
at
I can think of
peace.
immediately.
And the heart.
It's not even the game words aren't biased. It's just what games have people played.
I told you.
What games have their friends played they can tell them about. You can't play everything. It's not like the Oscars where I can take a couple of weeks and I can just watch 50 movies. I can't take a couple of weeks and play 50 games, even if they're an hour friggin' long. Like, or 50 movies is probably too much, but it's a really hard thing to be able to properly play through all the games in one genre, let alone all the games in every genre. To have, like, just look at the ongoing game category. It's the same few games I've heard of every year. That's just the way it's always going to be. It's never going to change. We'll see. Maybe this is the year they drop below 90, because being 92 or 90, whatever it was, didn't matter before, because it was still just a racing game. But in the long run, Game of the Year awards matter way too much to people and to companies. They are still just the opinion of a tiny subset of people. And instead of just being a fun thing, they become an everything. Like, it was even part of Totillo's interview, where they want to make Game of the Year winners because they really matter for marketing and the way people look at your games. Because Sony games do not review better on average than others. They just win more Game of the Years than anyone's besides Nintendo, pretty much. And people really care about that. Oh, man. 100%, because I don't really think there's any actual secrets in that one. It has been a really, really interesting week. Just reading a couple emails real quick. Should be a good show tomorrow. Sure, it'll be myself and John trying to temper Nick's hatred of Amy Hood and Satya Nadella. I never played Astrobot, but people seem to really love it, so I wasn't shocked when it won.
A distress signal was sent. We've tried contacting them. No response.
Thank you, Lady Gimp.
I sealed it from him, but it is an artifact of immense power. Forgive me.
They're inside!
The Heart of Argent, discovered in AR-722. An artifact said to contain the soul of the last wraith. Powers and origin unknown.
This is a really good looking game.
Assemble the guard.
Having played this and having played Ghost of Yotei, I am really curious what Yotei would look like on PC. Because Yotei won the technical award at the BAFTAs, which feels crazy to me compared to this one. But Yotei is a really good looking game. I just don't know if I've ever seen anything that looks and runs as well as this one. Other games might have better screenshot ability, but the actual way this engine runs while looking like this is nuts. Unless you put path tracing on, and then it's predictable.
Balin,
how you doing, buddy?
The Slayer guarding the barracks. We'll take the airships. Rally at the priest signal.
Got a church. Can't break it.
Yea, unto the Lord, we did once say, Ulek ubukshe avec moi, avec moi. They call me Lady Doomslayer Malad. Amen.
Demons have entered the facility.
Just hanging out. Hanging out. Hanging out with your family. Having yourself a party. My favorite hockey player is Chris Pronger. No, that's the main issue with PS5, Xbox Series S, and Xbox Series X is the reliance on upscaling mixed with a lack of hardware for it. That's why the PS5 Pro, the main thing I play console games on, just because I get the cleanest image, bar none. Even though I don't like using the platform as much, so I would still probably end up taking some codes on Xbox, especially when they're Play Anywhere. Play Anywhere trumps all. And knowing next gen, they will benefit from the extra power of whatever Helix device I'm able to get. That's another thing I would really hope. If they've got a bunch of Helix devices, we get at least one each for our reviewers. I think all of us would want the most powerful one, which might not be the most useful for reviews. Unless they're like similar on the CPU side, and it's mostly just ray tracing and image quality features, and not like base game settings. Who knows? It's going to be a very interesting generation because I really need to upgrade my CPU and motherboard, but RAM is so insane that even if I could find an affordable 9800X 3D, the motherboard and the RAM would probably double it.
Contact when we reach Eratum.
Commander Thera,
especially if I want a good 32 gigs. I've got 64 slow gigs now, which does help quite a bit in video rendering and stuff. But yeah, I'll say this: if they had like a $2,000 Helix that would become my main everything machine. Everything. Steam, Xbox, emulating other things. That would be where I want every game code. But obviously we'd also want people to have PS6s and if there are handhelds. And a lot of that will come down to do we get on like the coverage embargo lists? Because the only one we got for the series was John was sent a Series S. But then John and Nick were both sent an Ally X, but I think it's clear now that in the future it's probably just going to be John getting stuff, because our website is set up through the UK, and so anything we get invariably will probably go to him, which will make it hard. I doubt we'll ever have the money to buy it all. A Helix discrete GPU? That'd be interesting. I don't think they want that whole thing to be on an open platform. I don't think they want the Xbox ecosystem to be easy to hack. So I doubt it. But I don't know anything. Is it really that bad on Series X? I played this game a lot on Series X and I haven't really noticed it, and I'm normally pretty prone on that, but it has been a while since I played, and obviously today I chose to play on friggin' PC. That's because I do have still a good PC. My 7900 XTX got called out as being enough for Ultra Mode 4K 60 in Black Flag resynced, so still doing all right. Ding, 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 ding. Ding. It's almost like I played these levels a ton. Funny, people are like, oh, you gave this game a high score and it didn't do great. I'm like, it was a great game. The high score wasn't tied to its sales. The high score was tied to the fact that I played the shit out of it and absolutely loved it. Same with Starfield. It's really hard for me to go back and play a game, but I've got like 500 hours in Starfield. Probably the game I played the most in the last few years. This music's really good in this game. Here. Got him. Who died up here? There we go. Yeah. So much melee. Who's signing into Press Engine? I'm gonna guess John. So many emails today. Yeah, I can't imagine some of these, especially early on when you don't have a ton of upgrades. Yeah, I don't remember Doom being bad on Series X, but I don't have it installed right now to check. Gold is always useful. Gold and the upgrade currencies are things that are always worth getting. Ow, 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 ow. I was standing in fire. Let me pincushion you. There we go. Brah. Boom, boom, boom. Hey. Hola, King. Try to jump down, right? Yeah. Hello, gentlemen.
You're almost outside. There's a path through the tombs nearby.
The Adrian tombs. He's known as Vulture. Ah, yeah, it's just right here. It's not one you have to go find. It's them saying, by the way, you want these rubies real bad. I reviewed the game on Series X. I don't remember it being super fuzzy. Maybe my memory's faulty. I jump between console and PC a lot. And handhelds. Because I had the Legion Go back then. Oh, domed him. It's funny, people are like, this game's not as fast as whatchamacallit. I was like, no, not by default, but if you turn the game speed up, it's way faster than Eternal. You just have to choose for it to be. I'm at 100%. I didn't turn it up. That puppy. Sit. Heal. And every once in a while, I remember to melee more. Back hitches. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you had to play Doom Eternal as like a freaking platformer, where you can never stop moving. That was just how it played. "2016 was fun, but was mostly just use the super shotgun. Eternal, they really dialed everything up to you're countering. You must use this weapon here, you must use this ability here, that type of stuff, which is really fun. But if you stop moving, you die, which was rough. Very difficult in a very different way from this game. I got enough gold for another upgrade. Sure. I got an email. Ooh, April clearance sale. Way to go, bye. Have your clearance. And yeah, I'm a sucker for a good parry. Oh yeah. Anything else around I missed? Oh. Oh, wait. Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
This attack on the barracks.
The original showcase level.
Infant, mobilize the Slayer's dragon. Marking the Slayer's HUD now.
Ah, the poor dragon. A secret. Red enough yet. Pop! Ow. There we go. Full health. Like, I put the game on the easiest settings and it was too easy. Type of commentary sometimes. Ow. I remember to punch people more. Probably should have punched him. Oh yeah, I don't have the upgrade for that one yet that makes it shoot fast. Ow. Hello, Mort. Again. Burgers sound good. I'm doing a pork loin tonight with French fries. Pre-seasoned, I just have to cook it. Probably cast iron skillet it up. Anything else up here? Yes, there is. Weapon skill acquired. Toss. Got to run behind, baby. Anything down here? Gold. You just run through it to get it. Yes, this is on ultraviolence. I wanted a challenge, but to still be able to look at chat and not immediately die. Codex. Melee, increase the damage of final hit. Yeah, these are all good ones. Yeah, like, I'm sure I could do it, but I have to then fully focus on it the entire time. So, not as fun of a stream. Plus, I really wanted to come on today to talk a lot about all the Xbox news. Because, as we have said repeatedly, still mostly an Xbox show, channel. It is the main ecosystem most of us use. Ow, need help. Need help real bad. Even this, I really can't look at chat very often, unless I pause. Yeah. I'm just gonna kick your jaw off to kill you.
Aviary unlocked. Clear the Slayer's launch pad.
Bob's your uncle. One to two rubies. Oh, damn it. I was never great in this game at finding all the secrets right away. It was fun to just rip and tear and fight like hell and what the hell they call the friggin' tagline for this one. Because there's less ripping and tearing and there's more just smashing shit nonstop. But, yeah, so on the main save, 100%ed everything except for the last couple levels, or a couple of the last levels. I cannot find the last thing in Resurrection, and I haven't even tried Reckoning because I cannot find the last thing in Resurrection. It's very frustrating. Hey, we got through, 4 chapters? That's fun. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I'm going to go pick up the news Slack and see if there's anything going on as John celebrates his kid's birthday. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys again tomorrow for episode 311 of the Day 1 show. Until then, hope you have a wonderful weekend. Ciao for now.